Hello, dear students. Today we are going to start our next lecture, and in this video we will discuss about standard libraries in codices program complex. So before we begin, we need to discuss some basic information about this library. So a project can use several libraries that include program units, the data types they need, and global variables. Yes, all these things are contained in libraries. So, library program units can be used in the same way as user-defined ones. So, libraries standard and util must be included in the standard delivery package. Yes, when we get standard delivery package of codices program, codices contains that library. So next, codices software package has standard libraries that contain certain types of program units. The users can create their own library where they can add their own set of program units which they often use in their projects. Yes, that means that every user can create his own library, which he can use it every time when you want. So next, each library is called by the library manager and its program units are applied in the project. So next, and we will discuss about standard library of codices. So this library contains some function blocks which we can call to our projects. Yes, and first set of function blocks we call signal front detectors. So first detector we call rising edge detector. Yes, this is the designation of this block. Yes, we can see this block designation in the picture. So it calls R-trig. The R-trig standard function block detects a rising edge on the input of this block. Yes. This input has a Boolean type, and the output of this block is also Boolean type. So next, falling edge detector is contraverse detector for this rising edge detector. Yes. This standard function block detects a falling edge on the input. This. So, next set of function blocks which contained in standard library is bistable elements, or we call it triggers. So set trigger. This is the how can we designate in the picture this block, and so we talk about functionality of this element. This bistable function block realizes a prior set of the output. If the input set variable is true, the output is set. If output variable remains set even if set becomes false. Yes, everybody knows how function as this function block, but we need to discuss that standard library contains this type of function block. So next, reset trigger. This is the picture of reset trigger, and we need to discuss some information about its functionality. So function block, resetting bistable function blocks. So output is reset if reset1 input variable is true. If set and reset1 are true, output is set by reset1 to false. So next set of standard function blocks is counters. Yes, counters. And first counters we call up counter. Yes, this is the designation of this block. So, and what about its functionality? Each pulse on the count input, it means this input, will increase the current count value by 1 when CV output is greater than or equal to the counter limit. The output is set. A pulse on the reset input will reset the value of CV variable to 0. Yes, it's very simple, but we need to discuss it about. So next standard function block we call down counter. So what about its functionality? Each pulse on the count input will decrement current count value by 1 when CV variable is less than or equal to 0. The output is set. A pulse on the load input will assign the value of counter limit to CV. So in this set of functional blocks we have another one, up down counter. Also we call it universal counter. This is the designation, and we discuss about its functionality. Each pulse on the count input will increase the current count value by 1, and each pulse on the count input will decrement current count value by 1 when counter value is greater than or equal to the counter limit. The output is set. When counter value is less than or equal to 0, the output, second output of this block, is set. A pulse on the reset input will reset the value of CV to 0. A pulse on the load input will assign the value of counter limit to counter value. So this is how it works. So to discuss next set of function blocks, we need to recall some information about time type. Standard types. Yes, we need to discuss about time type. So a standard data type time represents the duration of time intervals in milliseconds. The maximum value for the time type is this value in days, hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds, or it equals to this value in milliseconds. So this is the designation how we can write time type values. Yes, it will be appear in the program in pink color. So some features of this type: when declaring a variable of the time type, when it to the next, you can skip the digits, but the main thing is to place them from the oldest to the youngest without spaces. Do not overfill the bits. The higher bit can go out of bounds, the lower one can't. And next, it's desirable to set the initial value of the variable, not 0. It's desirable. So, and this information will be used to discuss about next set of function blocks of the standard library. So, next set of functional blocks is timers. So, first timer we call on delay timer. Abbreviation is tone timer. So this is the picture of tone timer. And what about its functionality? Output is turned on after delay. Yes, this output Q will be turned on after delay. Delay is PT, value is time type value. So next, off delay timer, also we call it TOV. This is the picture of this timer and its functionality. Yes, output is turned off after delay. This output will be turned off after this delay, and this delay will start to count when this and this inputs will be set. So next timer we call pulse timer. This is very simple. It generates a pulse of specific length. Yes, it just generates a pulse of specific length. So next, we talk about library manager. The library manager contains a list of all libraries that are associated with the project. Yes, this is the picture how it's a general view of library manager. So this is, in this block we can see all linked libraries, and in the block below we can see the all standard function blocks which are contained in this library, and we will discuss about some words. So the library manager window is divided into 3 or 4 areas using screen separators. The list of libraries connected to the project is located in the upper left area. Yes, I told about it. This is the all libraries which connected to the project. So below, depending on the selected tab, you can see the program units variables, data types, or global variables of the selected library. So that's it. So if you select the program unit, the add section For that, program unit will appear in the upper right part of the screen, and a graphic image in the form of a block with inputs and outputs will appear in the low part. Yes, this is the right part of the screen, and we can see all input output variables of this program unit. So when you select data types and global variables, their declaration is displayed in the right part of the window. Yes, if we press these buttons, we can see all information about this in this section. So this is the shortly main information about library manager and standard function blocks of standard library. So thank you very much. I hope it was useful. So in this lecture we discussed about standard library and library manager of Codesys programming complex. So thank you very much. Good luck.